he's a very handsome and charismatic man.
Really, the difference between it's a night and day.
I'm moving to Canada, guys. It's official.
These women have bought into the Justin Trudeau hype.
Can't wait.
They may be American, but their view of our prime minister compared to their president is a positive one.
We're with girls from Girls Inc., and they know that he cares about diversity and that he's made big changes in his own parliament and government to ensure diversity, and they care about that a lot. They're glad to be here, and they hope he comes to their table to say hi to them.
This women's event in Washington is not just about Trudeau's brand as a self-declared feminist. It's more tactical than that. Trudeau and his team have aligned themselves with the president's daughter and senior advisor, Ivanka Trump. It's a way to gently influence the president and for Trudeau to use his own political celebrity to build bridges.
I wanted to pull together a government that did a better job of reflecting the diversity of Canada.
Trudeau still manages to push his progressive ideas. What he avoids at all costs is criticizing Trump and his administration's policies, a political risk that could backfire domestically. The new U.S. ambassador to Canada knows the president well enough to get him on the phone at any moment. She and others say Trudeau and Trump get along better than most people realize. Even as NAFTA talks deteriorate, the two manage to stay friendly.
I think they have a terrific working relationship, and I know that the president respects the prime minister, and also vice versa. They speak frequently, and they both are committed, the prime minister being committed to Canada, the president being committed to the United States, and therefore we have each other's best interests at heart.
All this relationship building means Trudeau is now touted as the Trump whisperer or the Trump tamer.
Great Prime Minister.
This is the kind of reaction Trudeau wants.
Great honor to have you both with us.
This last friendly meeting in the Oval Office between the two is part of the reason other world leaders turn to the Prime Minister's people to figure out how he's done it. The answer, in part, an unprecedented and coordinated team of advisors dedicated to building relationships with Trump's team. It's a charm offensive, with dozens of carefully targeted trips to reach out to key U.S. governors and congresspeople. All the while, Trudeau walks an almost impossible diplomatic line with very careful language. For instance, when Trump says he'll rip up NAFTA, Trudeau must be prepared while knowing it may never actually happen.
The president makes decisions that surprise people from time to time. And that is certainly something that we are very much aware of and very braced for and conscious of.
Because of the stark differences between him and Trump and his ability to keep the president on side, the prime minister is taking up more room on the international stage. Ian Bremmer runs a global political consulting firm in D.C. He's been a fan of Canada before Trudeau, and he suddenly sees potential here for a country like ours.
The U.S. does not want to be the cheerleader for global values, and that creates a lot of opportunities for other countries that have some of that interest and capacity to play a role. Now, for Canada, that is mostly about soft power, but soft power brings other benefits, and being an attractive place to live and work in this global environment, which is becoming so much more uncertain geopolitically and otherwise, is a good thing for Canada.
Bremmer points out this does not come without risk of upstaging a president who's an actual TV celebrity and enjoys the spotlight, and of disappointing progressives in other Western countries looking to Trudeau as an example. Ronna Ambrose, a former foe and now a member of the Prime Minister's NAFTA Advisory Council to help Canada keep the deal, agrees and offers this warning.
I think it's just a fine line between, looking like a celebrity and remembering that you're the Prime Minister, and at the end of the day, people expect you to go to work and work hard for them. And those are your people, those are your voters. And I think there could be some danger there.
Already, that is proving to be true. There are a handful of progressive policies the Prime Minister has not yet moved on, including the peacekeeping promise that has still not been fulfilled, his pledge for electoral reform, which has been abandoned entirely, and his promise for pay equity legislation to close the gender gap on salaries has been pushed back until next year. Back at that dinner in Washington, Ivanka Trump and Trudeau both smile and take time for pictures.
Oh, that was amazing. It was awesome. Yeah. I'm still kind of shaking. Yeah.
Working the room is something Trudeau knows how to do, and using his global brand to influence his relationship with Trump seems to be working. But given the president's unpredictability, there is no guarantee it always will.